have to be fit to start. It's dangerous, and it's not personal enough to get results. Coach Bear Care Equity Podcast, giving you tools to be fit for life. These are the three biggest misconceptions that we hear about group classes and CrossFit in general. That you have to be fit in order to do it, or in order to start. Or it's dangerous, that your injuries are going to happen. And then finally, that in a group atmosphere, you just can't get enough personal coaching to improve. And these just are not supported from anecdotal evidence from my 12 years of doing this or research on working out. So the first one, let's break these down. The first one is that you have to be in shape to start. And the question is, how do you think those people that are doing group classes got in shape? By doing group classes. That's how they got to what they are. Now, are there going to be different times of focus? And still, yeah, there's going to be times where, hey, I need to get stronger. I'm going to focus on this, but I'm still going to do group classes. And also, like, when we are starting out on our fitness journey, on our health journey, doing something different is really intimidating. Walking into a new gym, it doesn't matter if it's, a regular gym, a 24-hour access gym or a boutique gym or whatever it is, like, it's intimidating, right? Even just starting running on your own can be really intimidating. But that's how everybody started. Anybody who's ever started on a health fitness journey did the same thing. And it was a little scary. And that's why at Equity, we make sure, or we put a lot of effort in trying to reduce that. That's why we start with just a chat, right? We just come in, hey, what's your experience? What are your goals? What are you looking for? And then we don't just throw people in the group class. We have one-on-one. We call that our on-ramp. And then we go into that group class to make sure that we're comfortable in that environment. We understand how to modify movement if we're not capable of those movements. And then those modified movements will help us get to that level of fitness over time. You don't have to do pull-ups. You don't have to do this thing, right? Our goal is to have more healthy, happy people in the world. And we're going to slowly build that up over time. Being consistent, being accountable, and slowly building up that health and fitness over time is how we get better. And that is how we get in shape. It's not just, I have to do this to get there. You do it by doing group class, by coming in and doing that hard thing. So if you're looking for results, if you're looking to get in shape, you do CrossFit, you do group classes. That's how you get there, right? You don't have to be fit to start, but you have to start in order to get healthy and fit. We have people that have never worked out. Like I work with a guy. He started with me about 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago now. Never worked out ever. Over 350 pounds, and he's starting to see those results. He's like, dude, my ankles don't swell as much anymore. I can get up off the couch a lot easier. He's starting to see the change. My clothes are fitting different. And he started from zero, not working out at all, having a desk job. And just by doing it and being consistent with it, he's seeing those results. So that next one is that CrossFit or group classes can be dangerous. And we opened in September of 2012. It's currently June of 2025. If we are constantly getting people hurt and injured, we wouldn't be around. Do things happen? Absolutely. It doesn't matter what you do. If you play a sport, if you work out in any capacity, there is risk of injury. If you're walking down the street, there's a risk of injury. If you're bending over to pick up a pencil, there's a risk of injury. Our goal is to help prevent that or reduce the risk, not prevent it. Where our goal is to help reduce the risk of injury. The stronger you are, the fitter you are, the healthier you are, the less at risk you are for injury. If you improve your coordination and balance, you're less likely to trip and fall and break your hip. If you've never worked out before and you don't have an eye on you, you don't know what you don't know. We've been open, like I said, since 2012. We've seen a lot of movement. We've done certifications and training, and we're always working towards better. We understand how to help reduce that risk and make sure you're moving well to stay safe. We are a coach gym, not a access gym. So that is part of it. Hey, I want to make sure that I'm going to stay safe and I'm not going to injure myself. So I want eyes on me to help me get better. And it's also going to help you get better faster because you're able to move well, you're able to stay safe. So you're not going to have that injury, and you have our experience to be able to get you there faster. Right? You don't have to take all of these little side streets and figure it out on your own. We can help accelerate that process. The other thing that can really, coaching is a huge part, but the other one is making sure that we're keeping that ego in check. It's so easy to be like, oh, I can do this. Hey, I can lift that. And a coach that has a good eye and has a good relationship with you can help you keep that ego in check. Hey, Barrick, I'm seeing a lot of rounding today on your deadlift, more so than usual. I'd probably bring that weight down. And I might be like, yeah, you're right. I've had a rough couple of days. I pushed really hard there, or I didn't sleep really well last night. But my ego might not realize that I'm rounding a little bit more, and my bar speed might be a little too slow. And having a coach will help me keep that in check, right? And then that coach can have that external, that third person view to really, like I said, keep us in check, to make sure that we're staying safe and not having issues. We had a Lori, who's been with us for I think 6 months now, maybe a little bit around there. Whenever she went overhead, she would have clicking in her shoulder. And when you don't go overhead a lot, that's just not a movement that you use. So the muscles, the ligaments and tendons aren't used to moving in that position. So we're getting some clicking, and it might be slightly uncomfortable. But as we build that range of motion, right, we're not going to have her go to this crazy range of motion and do these crazy things. We're just going to go to where she's comfortable, right? Just go to where you're comfortable, slowly build that strength over time. Now she has more range of motion and she has less clicking in her shoulders as well, just from slowly and consistently progressing her movements with a coach, right? Having that group class, doing CrossFit, like that has helped her shoulders be less clicky. So that's something that we're really proud of, is when, people come in and they start moving better. That's our goal, so that we can move better in life, so we can do more things in our life. So CrossFit, working out, the gym, group classes do not cause injuries. Bad coaching, unchecked ego causes those things. And the other thing that can happen is that working out exposes issues from everyday life. So, for example, we had somebody in our 6 a.m. class where when he squats, there's a shift in his hips. And what I noticed, that whenever he was standing around, like in between lifts, or in the warm up or before the warm up, he was always leaning to one side and leg locked out, leaning to that one side. And he was doing that throughout his entire day, all the time, right? So if you always lean to that one side, you're talking to people at a party or at work or whatever, that's going to start creating an imbalance. So his squat was feeling a little wonky, but it's not because of the gym, because of CrossFit, because of working out. It's because he has an imbalance in his everyday life that's exposing it. And I have the same story with myself. I was having some elbow tendonitis when I was doing certain movements in the gym, and these movements are really bothering me. And it wasn't the gym that was causing that tendonitis, it was just exposing the tendonitis. What it was when I was reading at night, I would hold my book up here and putting a lot of pressure on the elbow. When I was working full time as a software engineer, I would sit on my elbow on the desk and load like this. If you can't see that, I'm loading my elbow. I'm putting my chin on my hand and loading my elbow. And now it's creating tension on my elbow. When I stopped doing those things, that tendonitis, that issue with those two movements went away. So I learned the imbalances I was doing. I was having the same issue, a similar issue with my knee. I was having a lot of knee issues. That's because when I was standing or standing around, I was locking my knees out. And that was creating an issue. Big shout out to Min for helping figure that out. Um, so working out, CrossFit, group classes can help uh, expose issues, and then we can help correct them in the gym, right? The last one is group classes just aren't personal enough, and this can't be farther from the truth. Like there's a lot of different levels to what we're doing, right? When we are coaching a class, we get to see you through a general warm up, a specific warm up through the workout. We get to see each person, and we are making sure that every single person is hearing their name every time. They're getting both positive feedback and constructive feedback. So, hey, I'm seeing some rounding in that back. When we're deadlifting, we need to make sure to really set that back, brace that midline, and make sure we're pulling in a safe position. And that doesn't take a lot of time, right? I can give that correction, and then I can come back and make sure that that correction is staying there and give adjustments. Hey, we need to bring that weight down. We need to bring that barbell up off the ground. So just in a coaching aspect, we can give a lot of feedback in both the warm up. We can see a movement that is, oh, they have this issue in the warm up. I'm probably going to see this issue when we're doing deadlifts later. We also have different tracks, right? It's not just, hey, everybody does this workout. We have different versions of the same workout for people to do depending on what their goal is. And then we have modifications for these movements, right? If we have strict pull-ups in a workout, not everybody can do that. So we're going to have modifications to help get you to that strict pull-up. We're going to have a progression of those movements. Hey, we have a strict pull-up. We have a toe supported pull up. We have a ring row. Like we have a lot of different options that we can use to help progress to get us to that strict pull up. And everybody's going to have different goals. So we're going to make sure that based on your goal, hey, this is probably a good idea, right? If your goal is just to be healthy and live your life, like, hey, we don't need to be doing some crazy, crazy weird thing that you've seen on the internet. Hey, let's just stick with the squat and the pull and the push. So we see this all the time where people see the power of the community and being around others and the accountability and having a coach see them during group class, and it just gets so much better. Like when you can find that other person that's really close to your fitness level and a similar body type, they can really help you improve faster, right? You have both the coach helping you, you have this other person that is very similar to you that's helping you grow as well, and we can really get better a lot faster. So group classes aren't impersonal, they're personalized for your experience. And it's a very um, positive, supportive, motivating environment. It's going to help you get better faster. So, you know, we hear these big three all the time that you can't, that I can't start, I can't do this, I can't do CrossFit because I'm not fit enough, because I can't do X, Y, and Z. And we mentioned that's just not true. That is how those people got those things by doing it. That it's dangerous. Having eyes on you, having a good coach, having an environment of moving well and moving for quality is going to keep us safe. And then finally, like getting coaching in a group class, like you're going to get coached. I promise that it's going to happen. That's why I take like I said, I've been doing this for over 12 years and I still take our group classes because I want feedback. I want to get better. And by taking the class, the coaches are coaching me as well. So I can keep getting better. So these are three misconceptions that we hear over and over again. And we're constantly working against that. And that's okay. That's not a bad thing. We're just going to keep doing what we do, keep working towards better, and keep trying to spread the good word. Our goal is to have more happy, healthy people in the world. And that's what we're going to keep trying to do. Hope this helps. If you think this might help somebody else, if you know that person that you really want them to get healthy and fit and they don't think CrossFit or group classes are for them, if you think this might help them, please send it to them. Cheers.